For many, JuCo is the last chance to play college football.
What the f***? Just shut the f*** up. Come on. Take your ass home then, mother.
In high school, all I wanted was to play at the next level. I was the first team all-league quarterback and the league offensive MVP, but I never got offered to play college football. So I began considering my last possible option, which was JuCo. If you don't know, JuCo is short for junior college. It's a 2-year college, and the purpose of these football programs is to give guys some exposure or a shot to get recruited if they didn't in high school or if somehow they messed up their opportunities. And I remember sending emails and reaching out to like 6 or 7 different schools to see if they had a spot for me. About a week later, I got a call from the coach at the College of Siskiyou, and he told me that he loved my film and they would love to have me. So I took a visit down there and I signed to play along with one of my high school receivers, Davon. But to be honest, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't have to show up on campus for fall camp till August 5th. So I had the entire summer to try to transform myself and get right. Every other day I was either waking up at 5 a.m. to go run stairs at Stadium High School, or I was down at Owens Beach running sandhills. I was at the field also almost every single day, just trying to tighten up my skills, tighten up my mechanics, and just level up. I had no idea what to expect from JuCo football. Anyone can play JuCo football as long as you haven't used up your eligibility yet. I was 18 years old, but they have grown men on the rosters. Every JuCo has that one person on the team that's way older than everybody else. But the first week on campus was hell week. This was the hardest week of football of my entire life. It started at 6 a.m. with the mental toughness test, where we were out at the field and we had to do 50 burpees in a row. And if one person messes up, you have to restart. On one of the days, we did like well over 200 burpees in a row. And like not even a quarter of the team finished. If guys weren't doing it right or they kept messing up, making us restart, they eventually just got kicked out. And by the time we were done, there weren't that many of us left. But back to the schedule. Because after that, we had meetings and practice from like 9 to 11:30. Then we had lunch, then meetings at 2, practice from 2:30 to 4:30, then another meeting and walkthrough after dinner. And we lifted 3 times a week. It felt like we were working 12-hour days, and it was tough. Like almost 50 people quit after that first week alone. So imagine moving into the dorm and then calling your parents because you quit and then moving out in the same week. There were 9 quarterbacks on the depth chart when I got there, and I was placed at number 5 to start. I did everything possible to separate myself, stealing every rep I could, not just in team sessions, but 7-on-7, even drill work. I was trying to do more drills than everybody else. And after that first week, the coaches moved me to number 1 on the depth chart. I loved football so much that despite how hard of a grind it was, I was having the time of my life. But this story is far from perfect. Stick with me. The coaches ended up naming me the starter, and the nerves from that first game were going crazy. I still remember the first play of my first college game. I was under center, I had a big play action, got to the top of my drop, and I ripped a post down the seam. The nerves immediately vanished. We won that first game by a couple of touchdowns, and I thought I played well. But I got hit harder than I've ever been hit in my life. I was sprinting out to the left and throwing a short comeback when a linebacker came around the edge out of nowhere and completely leveled me. I might have flown like 4 yards in the air. The throw was a dime though for a toe tap first down. As the season went on, I could tell that my coach liked my backup more than he liked me. They hung out more, related more, joked more. Over time, it started to feel like he was directly preparing him to be the starter and take my spot. I made the mistake of letting this get to me and my confidence suffered. I wasn't playing terribly, but I was nowhere close to my best. And after 8 games, we were 4-4, and my coach called me into his office to tell me that I was benched. This was the most disappointing news ever. All I wanted was a scholarship, but what team would recruit a guy that got benched on his own team? And I didn't get any playing time for the rest of the season. I felt like I did everything I could. I worked as hard as I could work, and getting benched was the result. To no surprise, nobody was interested in recruiting me after that first season. There had to be something that I was missing. I wasn't just gonna fade off and quit. When I returned to school after winter break, I locked in. My high school receiver, Davon, ended up leaving JuCo, but another one of my high school receivers, my brother Job, transferred to my school. And in that offseason, we were putting extreme levels of time and energy into getting better. We were showing up to 6 a.m. lifts at like 5:15 just to get extra work in the gym, whether that's cone drills, catching, footwork, whatever. Going to the field every single day after classes just to run routes, do more footwork, do some sprints, and going to the gym every single night after dinner to hoop. And while we weren't running, we were playing catch with the football over the court. Even a few really late night workouts because we wanted to do what nobody else was willing to do. The College of the Siskiyous is a crazy JuCo. It's located in Weed, California, which is right near Mount Shasta, and the town is tiny. It's like less than 3,000 people there. There's really not much to do there, and I spent most of my free time making beats. I used to pull up on my running back Tajay, and he would rap over whatever I was cooking up.
Put it in the flat, good back, put her on her ass, bland, damn, I'm feeling like bland, damn, hop in that bitch with a mask, boom, ain't no fucking.
Dudes also used to host boxing matches inside of the dorms. But we got in trouble for that. After about 4 months of this, through that winter and spring, I was in peak condition. I was still dealing with the issues that I was dealing with that last year, feeling like I wasn't getting the attention or coaching that I needed to fully develop. I remember times when I would go out to the field and I would see my coach working with that other quarterback one-on-one. It was obvious to me that he wasn't as interested in helping me develop as he was the other quarterback. Regardless, I was still putting work in and determined to not let this situation hold me back. Reporting back for fall camp my sophomore year, I had a different energy. All the work I put in paid off, and once again, I was named the starter. We were really good this year. We beat 3 top 10 teams in the state, starting with the City College of San Francisco. I had some ups and downs. I missed a couple of throws that game, but the biggest issue I had was when I took a quick play action 3-step drop and threw a stop route to my left. The D tackle broke through and hit me as I made the throw and drove me into the ground. And I literally felt my body crunch into the ground like I got squished. I remember I couldn't breathe, and I had to have the running back call the cadence for the entire rest of that drive. We ended up going to overtime in this game. My ribs were hurt bad, and I could barely throw. But I mustered all the strength that I had to throw like a 35 yard touchdown pass to win the game to my receiver, Tremaine Tolbert. Fast forward a couple games, we're 3-2 coming off a losing streak, and our next game is Butte at home. Butte is the JuCo that Aaron Rodgers went to. They're one of the programs that I reached out to when I was looking for a place to play coming out of high school. They're actually one of few schools that hit me back, but they told me that I'm not really what they're looking for, and if I decided to go there, I wouldn't play. I never forgot that. I had extra motivation that week. My family was even coming down to that game, so this one meant a lot to me. We battled, and after being a 1-score game at halftime, our defense shut them down in the second half, and we continued to score a couple more times and took the dub. The feeling that I had after this win was incredible. It felt like everything that I was working towards that I wanted was finally falling into place. Life has a funny way of checking you sometimes in these moments though. I walked out of the stadium with my family and I was so grateful that they were all there. Even my grandpa made it out to watch me play. I said bye, headed into the locker room and started getting changed so I could meet up with them later. Music was playing and we were lit and celebrating when all of a sudden a few of my teammates rushed in telling me like, hey, you need to go outside right now. And I remember being like, all right, yeah, 1 sec, let me finish changing. And they were like, no, it's urgent, like it's an emergency, you need to get out there now. So I grabbed my bag, I'm still wearing my game pants, and I rush outside to the front of the stadium where I see a big group of people gathered in a circle. I was confused, I didn't know what was going on, so I moved towards the center of the circle. On the ground was my grandpa, unconscious, with a coach from Butte giving him CPR. About an hour later, at the hospital, the doctors came out and informed us that he had passed away from a heart attack. How could this happen at that moment? I went from the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows in an instant. I couldn't just put the season on pause though. The next week we were playing against Sacramento City College, and they were ranked 6th in the state with an undefeated record. I was going through a lot mentally and emotionally, but I still had a job to do. I still had a season to finish. Something happened this game, and to this day, I still can't fully describe it. We ended up running the number 6 Sacramento City College undefeated team 43-13. I kept my emotions at bay throughout the game, but after it was over and I saw my family, who came down again that next week, I just broke down. I threw for 395 yards and 4 touchdowns, and I ran in a 5th touchdown. And that performance earned me National Offensive Player of the Week. Something clicked, and I can't explain it. We went on to win the next 2 games, giving us a playoff spot against San Mateo. We lost that game and finished with a record of 8-3. I went from getting benched the season prior to then winning first team all-league my sophomore year. But to be honest, I didn't care about league honors at all. All I wanted to do was get a scholarship. And still, I wasn't getting any interest from any schools. It was tough to go through everything I had gone through and still feel like nobody was showing me any love. I left school that semester and enrolled in a local community college back in Washington. This was around January of 2018, and this is the first time that I went viral with Dockery with one of the trick catches. I was working at the YMCA and training with Dockery almost every single day for that winter and spring. One day, I got a call from the assistant coach at Wazoo. He told me that he liked my film and he wanted me to come to their tryouts that they were having and then walk on. Unfortunately, you have to be enrolled to the school to walk on, and I couldn't try out. So I started the enrollment process and was just waiting. A few weeks later, I got a call from a coach at the College of Idaho who'd met my high school coach and found out about me through him. I took a visit and they offered me a full tuition scholarship. But that's a story for a different video. If you want to continue playing football, but you messed up your grades or you didn't get the looks you wanted, consider junior college. Remember, the challenges put in front of you are meant for you to grow into the person that can overcome them. Thank you for listening to my JuCo story, and I'll see you in the next video.